Hi, fellow sports lovers and timeout lovers, and welcome to another episode of Timeout, a show anybody can watch about sports, stats, facts, and everything in between. From a fan point of view, I'm your host Charlie, so let's go get this ball rolling. Timeout. It's sports time. How did I miss that? Oh man, did we have one insane for the 3 basketball that happened yesterday on Warrior Wednesday. So, time out. It's sports time. We start off the day with last night's game as we have King James and his Cavaliers going head-on against those New York Knicks. As the Knicks got the party started, woohoo! And dominated in the first quarter with 32 points. To Cleveland's, by the way, only 18 points. But then the King hit the gas and did not stop until the end with a final victory. Woo-hoo! Of 96 to 86 in Cleveland, having the crowd scream, "Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks!" The superstars of the night was Cleveland's own King James with 23 points and Thompson with 13 rebounds. And can't forget about the Deli Man Nova with 7 assists. On the Knicks side, we had Carmelo Anthony with 17 points and 12 rebounds, and Cauldron with that 5 assists. On to the next game, we head to the Bay as we have the Battle of Cali. Woohoo! As the champs, the Golden State Warriors, undefeated so far, by the way, in this season, going against their enemies of LA, the LA Clippers, who were also undefeated this season. Man, fellow timeout lovers, this game was insane. It was a neck and neck pretty much all the way until the end, as the NBA champs pushed and shoved into victory lane with a final victory of 112 to 108. Wow, way to go, Golden State. You guys are still undefeated at 5-0. Not bad, champs. The superstars of the night on the Clippers side was Chris Paul with 24 points and 9 assists, and DeAndre Jordan with that big man had 13 rebounds. Nice job, DeAndre. On the Warriors side, you have Steph Spicy Threes Curry all day long with 31 points. Woohoo! And Barnes with 9 rebounds and 8 assists. Man, talk about some awesome, jaw-dropping basketball that happened yesterday on Warrior Wednesday. Fantasy Rockstars and Notstars. Okay, fellow timeout lovers, it's Teardown Thursday. So it's time for Fantasy Rockstars and Notstars for week 9 of the NFL. So let's start it off. Here we go. My fantasy rockstar quarterback is Drew Breezy with an insane 44 points last week, fellow timeout lovers, for fantasy owners. I know personally because I had him. Woo! Man, did he help me out. And with 7 touchdowns, timeout lovers, and going against an injured and needs improvement Titans D, I think Breeze is going to go boom off to the races, especially with Marcus Colston and Benjamin Watson by his side, dominating. Drew is a rock star. My fantasy, not star quarterback is Kirk Cousins of the Redskins. With a week off, I get that, but going against Tom Brady and his boys, Kirk Cousins has no chance against the Patriots defense. If you have them, shelf them. My fantasy rockstar running back is St. Louis Rams secret weapon Todd Gurley. With Gurley having a whopping 23 points for fantasy owners last week and going against the Vikings next week, he is going to go off to the races. Play him. My fantasy not star running back is, unfortunately, of the Eagles, Darren Sproles. He had 0 points last week, and I know that was because of a bye week, but him and Sam Bradford are just not connecting whatsoever. And if you really have them, shelf them. My fantasy wide receiver is AJ Green of the Bengals. With the Bengals undefeated and AJ getting 17 points last week for fantasy owners, and going against the dog pound, he is definitely going to get some TDs tonight against the Browns. Now my fantasy wide receiver not star is Mike Wallace of the Minnesota Vikings with 0, count 'em, goose egg points last week against my Bears. Personally, Teddy Bridgewater has gotten a liking to Stephon Diggs, who's getting pretty much every touchdown and every catch for the Vikings. So if you have Mike Wallace, shelf him. My fantasy tight end rockstar is, are you ready for this, Timeout lovers? A little bit of a shocker here. We're going with Tyler Eifert of the Bengals. I know he only had 3 points last week, but Andy Dalton really truly likes throwing to this guy, and I feel like he's definitely going to get some points up for the Bengals tonight against the Browns. All right, my fantasy tight end not star is Colts' own Dwayne Allen. With being targeted 0, no points last week at all, he is definitely being ignored by Andrew Luck. So you, if you have him, should definitely ignore him as well and shelf him. My fantasy defense is rockstar is New England Patriots. You just can't stop them. With 18 points last week, they are just stomping and destroying everything in their path. All right, my fantasy not star defense is, sorry Bears, but my Chicago Bears. With only getting 3 points last week, the Bears are definitely not the monsters of Midway lately. And without just a defense that is just not making it happen, you gotta shelf them. And finally, my rockstar kicker is the Patriots' own Stephen Gutowski, who got 12 points last week. He is on fire. Play him. My fantasy not star kicker is Redskins kicker Dustin Hopkins. Definitely, the Redskins aren't doing so well, so the kicker isn't doing so well. If you have them, shelf them. So there you go, fantasy. There you go, Timeout lovers. That's my fantasy. Fantasy rockstars and non-stars for week 9 of the NFL. Timeout. it's pick'em time. Okay, fellow timeout lovers, here we go with week 9 of the NFL timeout. It's Thursday, pick'em time. So, here we go. Okay, tonight we've got, we've got a battle going on in Ohio. We've got the Browns versus the Bengals. Thought of this back and forth, and I'm going to go with the Bengals. They're undefeated for a reason, and I feel like Andy Dalton is making it happen with A.J. Green and Giovanni Bernard. I feel like he's going to get some points coming up. And can't forget about Tyler Eifert, that tight end as well. Going Bengals. All right, Dolphins versus the Bills. Saw this back and forth too. And you know what, Dan Campbell? I'm going to give you another chance here. I'm going with the Dolphins. Okay, Packers versus the Panthers. I'm really liking how the Panthers are doing lately. Greg Olsen, Cam Newton just stepping up his game. Jonathan Stewart. Lucas Kuechly with that defense. I'm going Panthers. Rams versus the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Rams. Redskins versus the Patriots. Got to go with the Patriots. They're just on fire. Titans versus the Saints. I'm going to go with the Saints. I like their intensity last week, and I think they're going to keep it up. I really like how Drew Brees is throwing to that special weapon, Benjamin Watson, the tight end. Let's see here. Jets versus the Jags. I'm going with the Jets. I believe in the Jets this year. They're doing very fantastic. And even though with an injured Ryan Fitzpatrick, I still think it's going to make it happen. I'm going Jets. All right, Raiders versus Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers. With Ben Roethlisberger back, and plus their secret weapon, don't forget about D'Angelo Williams. I'm going with the Steelers. Okay, Falcons versus the 49ers. I'm going with the Falcons. I just don't believe in the 49ers, even with Colin Kaepernick benched. Blaine Gabbert hasn't really had a lot of chances with the 49ers to practice, and I'm going with the Falcons. Giants versus the Bucks. I'm going with the Giants. I believe that Eli Manning is really stepping up his game lately, especially throwing to number 13, of course, Odell Beckham Jr. And, he's just getting different people left and right. Plus, Victor Cruz comes back soon. I'm going with the Giants. All right, Broncos versus the Colts. I'm going with the Broncos. I just don't think Andrew's getting any more luck, especially with losing their offensive coordinator this week. I just don't think it's enough time, and I think the Broncos are going to beat them. Eagles versus the Cowboys. Even though number 88 is back, and you have Jeff Hardy Cowboys, still, without Tony Romo, it's just not a matching team yet. I'm going Eagles. And then finally, Monday Night Football, my Chicago Bears versus the Chargers. Thought about this back and forth, and I'm sorry again, Bears, but I'm going to have to go with the Chargers. With an Eddie Royal possibility in or maybe out, not to mention Matt Forte, number 22, our Mr. Reliable, out for who knows how long. I just don't know if Alshon Jeffrey and the youngins can make it happen. So I'm definitely going to go with the Chargers. Well, there you go, fellow timeout lovers. Those are my picks for week 9 of the NFL. What you watching? Oh man, fellow timeout lovers, we have an insane, no-holds-barred matchup in Ohio tonight, as we have the rowdy Dog Pound trying to tackle down the undefeated Bengals. Or will the Bengals make the Dogs run around with their tail between their leg and just add another victory to Andy and his Bengals? Tune in on NFL Network at 8:25 p.m. tonight to find out what happens. Also in basketball, we have my Chicago Bulls trying to steer and rip apart the Thunder by trying to put OKC Thunder in a jar. Or will the Thunder, strike down my Bulls? Tune in on TNT at 8 o'clock p.m. tonight to find out. Also in for the 3 basketball, we have the Timberwolves trying to roar in a victory. Or will the Miami Heat turn up the temperature in Minnesota? Check out your local sports channel network at 8 o'clock p.m. to see what goes on. Man, talk about some awesome games that are happening this Teardown Thursday. Hi, fellow sports lovers and timeout lovers, and welcome to another episode of Timeout, a show anybody can watch about sports, stats, facts, and everything in between. From a fan point of view, I'm your host Charlie, so let's go get this ball rolling. Timeout. It's sports time. How did I miss that? Oh man, did we have one insane for the 3 basketball that happened yesterday on Warrior Wednesday. So, time out. It's sports time. We start off the day with last night's game as